Hello, my name is Angelica Thompson, and what I'm going to be doing is a TED Talk talking about how I plan on using technology in the school. How we're going to integrate what's current and what's emerging into creating a school that is a technology rich for the staff. And want to talk about how we're going to get the students engaged and how we're going to prepare the students for real world. So in order to do so, we got to have a vision. And the vision is going to be we want to provide educational excellence. In order to do that, we have to make sure that whatever that we're purchasing, that it is rich and it enhances student learning. That's what it's all about. Everything it boils down to student achievement, student learning, student outcome. That's what we want to make sure we're doing. So we want to make sure that we find a resource that is available, that has that rich component of it. We want to make sure that it is available for all students. When I say that, I mean the different tier levels, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. We want to make sure we purchase something that has those components to reach students at all levels. And with that being said, we want to make sure that we have something that pretty much is available for all students. We don't want to make sure, we don't want to just target one specific group of students. We need it across the board. We want to make sure we're enriching those students who are moving forward. We want to make sure we're bridging those gaps with those other students, and vice versa. So we want to make sure that we have what it takes, and it's available to them. We need something that is available tomorrow if need be. And in order to do so, there are other components that we need to make sure they're in place for that. We need to make sure that it fits into the curriculum or to the actual system that we're currently using already. We need to make sure that we even have the funds to even purchase something like that. We want to make sure that if we do have something, can we keep it up? Do we have it within our budget to keep it up? And we want to make sure whatever that we're using it with fidelity. We want to make sure that we're tracking the students' progress to ensure to see if it's working effectively. To see if it's ineffective. Should we keep it? Should we ditch it? Whatever the case may be, but we want to make sure that we're doing that. Moving forward, we want to talk about a little bit about how we can get students engaged in the learning. That's one of the most critical pieces today, because we see a lot of students not engaged in learning. School period, they dread coming. So we got to make sure we find some of those components that make them want to learn, make them intrigued about learning. And in order to do so, we have to find something that connects with them day to day. I like to do a lot of sometimes different videos with a standard that we've already taught, and it's really easy to. I did one little project once about you can create a presentation, you can create a video, you can create a rap song, whatever it is, but you have to use the information that is related to the standard. In order to create all of this, you have to be able to know it through and through. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to perform it or present it in a way that it needs to present it, because we did follow a rubric. So in order to do so, you have to practice and practice and practice. So if you were struggling with the information, with you repeating those strategies and things like that, and you keep reciting or you rapping and over with the practice, it's going to be embedded. It's going to be embedded because you want to make sure you practicing it, and it's up to par and what it needs to be to get a good grade. So we can do things like that. I like to also, you can do a digital field trip, because sometimes there are issues with getting field trips or getting field trip forms and all of that, things like that. So creating those digital field trips can actually open students up to the world without actually taking them out. And I think that's a great way to get engaged. Just something different, something that they maybe can manipulate and do things. I think a lot of times they find those type of things intriguing and beneficial, depending on whatever it is, the different subject. And you can do this with any subject in the school and be successful. I also like to use different resources for remediation. We particularly use Carnegie Learning. They have different videos embedded within the curriculum online platform. So a lot of times, sometimes I'm teaching something and the students, let's say, don't get it. And I need it to be retaught. So instead of teaching it over and over and over, they're still not getting, it's almost like I'm bringing in another teacher with a different approach, and they're able to do that. And that helps a lot of students sometimes, because it gives them those different stopping points to assess and to see, and then move forward if they need to move forward. And if not, then they continue to watch the video a lot of times. And that helps with a lot of misconceptions. So that's definitely one of the some key things that can help students with that, bringing in that digital component. Professional learning development is one of those key things that make lessons thrive, because you can learn a lot. When you collaborate, you can learn a lot. And with technology, it's the same thing. You can use it in a professional development type of setting, because believe it or not, there are a lot of people who struggle with digital, electronic. I'm definitely one of those people that struggle with those things. I'm not tech savvy at all. And it's because I don't have the confidence. I haven't had the proper training. I haven't had the just the time to just get fully equipped to whatever it is that they send out. And one of the things that I really want to bring to the school for teachers to support them is like a digital professional development, where if we're doing certain online platform or resources, we do it in a small group type of setting, because there are a lot of people that feel that when you're educated, you should automatically know. How I showed you once, sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes we are like the kids, where we need to see it 2, 3, or 4 times sometimes. And then you need to go back and check to see if we got it. Assess. See, were we successful with the learning goals today? Did we meet the success criteria? Just like we were in the classroom, having that small group and trying to determine whether or not your staff are fully equipped with what they need to enhance learning, to get those students engaged in different types of lessons. Because one thing about it, if you're not comfortable with something, then you're going to lack the confidence. And then a lot of times you're not going to use it. And that's what I do many times. If I don't know how to use it effectively, sometimes I just won't use it. And that can really hinder our students from growing in the way that they need to grow. We want to make sure, again, we're providing that excellence for our students to grow and to learn. And that will help build teachers' confidence, giving them that small group, and then checking to make sure that we effectively know or how to use whatever the resource is. I think that's very, very important. We'll be able to, and that can promote a lot of other innovative approaches when it comes to technology, because you can learn a lot from different other teachers from that component. Then I can teach a new teacher or something, other ways of implementing technology, and just collaborating and getting the school thriving like it needs to be. Even though we have a lot of good things that can be in place with technology, there can be some different components that can cause some limitations. The budget is one of the things that can be a limitation, because sometimes we don't have the funds to purchase certain resources, and sometimes that can be a problem. And then another thing, some teachers can be resistant to change. I know I was once when we started emerging those new math standards and strategies for how our students learn today. I wasn't as open to it because I wasn't, it wasn't comfortable for me. I was getting out my comfort zone and I didn't like it, and I was a little bit resistant until I was able to see a lot in the data and what it was doing for the students and how they learn. And, that changed a lot. So I think with that approach, you want to make sure to keep those teachers from resisting the change. Let's make sure we can, if we're going to pitch something, let's do it in small pieces to where it's not overwhelming for the teachers, and they won't be as resistant as people normally are. Because I'm not saying you're going to have it 100%, but you want to at least have 50 to 75% people on board. And that gives you enough time to kind of continue to work with other people. And then you can gradually pull those people in to be receptive to those different and new approaches. We do going to have some cybersecurity as always. It's just an issue that we will have to deal with at hand. But we want to make sure we're proactive instead of reactive. So let's having those different components in place to keep down on those different issues. We can have some things that lets us know weekly about just checking for any risks that are that the resources can kind of have, or that something that can be a potential breach or something like that. So we'll make sure we have those different things in place for those issues that arouse. Another thing, just looking at how we want students to be developed and prepare for what they need moving forward in the real world. There are some different components that is relevant to that. One, we might want to make sure that the students have the digital literacy that they need to function in college or in their occupation, whatever career path that they decide to use. We want to make sure that we equip them with certain things that make sure that they have them. So you can do something as simple as enriching them with certain projects, online platforms. It can be something as simple as Canva, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, whatever it is. Something as simple as even just a email, teaching them how to use that and having that available for them can go a long way. It won't be like it's foreign language to them. They'll have a little insight of what that looks like, and to kind of be able to navigate through certain platforms, even if it's just using digital for looking for different sources, citing sources and things like that, primary, secondary sources and things like that. They already have a little background when it comes to that different kind of stuff. So if they need that when they move into college for research or whatever the cases may be, they'll have it moving forward. Another thing we want to make sure is that for cybersecurity, students are aware of what's in the world, what's out in the world. We want to make sure that they are using online platforms safely, and making sure that they're using it in an ethical way, a responsible way, where they're able to make sure that their information, their personal information, is protected. And then they respect others that are out there, because a lot of times I've seen people have a lot of conflict because just not respecting what people say and things like that. And that can go a long way. Moving forward, problem solving, that can work a lot of ways, because in math, I know we have a lot of complex type of problems. And with me teaching those different strategies and ways to analyze things, they can use those skills to develop ways of handling or managing real world scenarios. That's what we want to make sure, that we teach students what they need to know so it can be applicable in the real world. That's what it's all about. Being able to adapt to the world, and just having a growth mindset, because we want to make sure our students, we want to make sure we're encouraging them to even when faced with challenges, we want to embrace them. Don't want to run. We want to make sure we can kind of work through things, be resilient, whatever it takes to get back on top. So because there are going to be times where students, they become an adult. Sometimes they're under pressure and may not know how to handle it. But what can happen is you can teach them how to overcome certain setbacks and to regulate their emotions, and how, just to deal with things by staying calm and working through things. And going into, because they're going to be working or in school with a lot of different people. This world is pretty diverse. So it's going to be times that they're going to be able to have to interact with people that aren't like them. And like, even because there are so many things that are going on in the world. We have different type of global issues and all that kind of stuff, whatever the case may be. But we need to make sure that they're aware of what's going on, and just having a deep understanding and being respectful for the different types of cultures around, different ethnic groups, and so on and so forth. When I spoke about the diversity, they're going to be faced with different people on the job, in college. So we need to make sure that they're able to collaborate and with others on a team. Are they able to effectively communicate? Are they able to actively listen to people and make negotiation and things like that? Whatever it is the case may be, we need to make sure they do it in a way where it's a respectful kind of way, because that's going to help with growing their mindset. We're going to want to make sure we develop students with the knowledge and skills just to get through life as responsible citizens. So when they graduate, they can be whatever it is that they want to be, because we've instilled those skills, those qualities, and the knowledge in them to be innovative or to be resourceful, in their careers or college. We want to make sure we spark some entrepreneurship in the process. Whatever the case may be, we want to make sure that those students have what they need to be successful in life. I know there's a lot of other things that I use also in class. I like to use Magic School. It's a great way for me, I can use it to make lesson plans, create, generate worksheets, whatever it is that I'm working on, PowerPoints for students, guided notes and things like that for my students who need assistance with, whatever it is, so they can have something to study from. I can create just so many different activities, so many different levels of it, different forms of it, depending on, like I said, like my tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 students. What a variety of things. I mean, it is just a cluster of things that we can do. I also like to use Carnegie Learning. It's a great platform. It has a curriculum already designed, almost like a word-for-word script that I can use. And I can take all of that information, create a lesson plan just simply based off of that information. It already has those learning targets, whatever it is they're learning, success criteria, you name it, it's in there. They have those different, as I mentioned, the videos that students are able to like reteach and assess and things like that for the student may have an issue, or even just moving forward. I can use it for remediation or extended learning, whatever the case may be. I can also use it. They have an individualized plan where they can move on, whatever the case may be. It's a cluster of things that is in that platform that is, a really resourceful type of platform. I also like to use quizzes in my classroom setting down. It's very easy to navigate. I love teaching from it. You can do lessons, assessments, you name it. Just it can be competitive for students. And it's a great way to get students engaged. I love it. When the music come on, the students really enjoy it. I mean, it's just a lot of different things that are not too stressful to manage or navigate through that can be so great for students' engagement. Again, I can use those different things I was talking about, small group for professional development for the teachers, and just all those different things that can assist those future graduates within the real world. I mean, it's a lot of things that technology can do and make life so much easier. And even if you're not one of those ones that are tech savvy, there are some things that are in place or that are available that can really make your job really easy to deal with.